It only took a week for them superpowers of yours to wear off, NJ, didn't it, really?
Yes.
Q&A number 108. It only lasts for a couple of seconds because I'm immune to them, apparently. Frankie T asked us our first question. If you want to ask questions, by the way, all the stuff will be in the description box if you want to. This is a Q&A where we answer questions, hence the Q&A. If WWE were to drop the World Heavyweight title and replace it with an old one, what title would you like to take place? For me, it would be the European title because they have enough European stars such as Cesaro, Barrett, Santino, McIntyre, etc. to carry it well. I mean, they have a US title. Why not spread it out? Well, replacing a main event title with a mid-card belt, I don't think it would be a good idea. It would be a good idea to just replace the US title with the European title if you were going to do that, but not drop the World Heavyweight Championship. If I was going to drop the World Heavyweight Championship, I would bring in another main event belt.
You do not touch the World Heavyweight Championship. You got me? Because with the World Heavyweight Championship, it's got a lot of story behind it. Mid card belts, yes, they've got story, but I think when it comes to main titles, the titles that have been held against the best, I don't agree with replacing it. But if you were to, I just would combine the two main titles instead of replacing any.
The only thing you should be doing if you're touching that belt is shining it up real nice. That's all I can say. Scott Wilde. I haven't brought Ryback's heel turn yet, and I thought it sucked. Just watched the opening segment of Raw, and I must say he is working as a heel a lot better. Jeans and black clothing helps as a heel, and a really good promo. That was a decent length, and he just talked normally, not yelled all the words like before Extreme Rules. I believe this time as a heel will really improve his storytelling ability for the future, rather than just squash matches. I'm finally behind Ryback as a heel. What I really have never bought Ryback's heel turn. I'd always thought this guy would just be better as a tweener slash or babyface who just doesn't care about anything and will do whatever it takes to get to the WWE Championship or the top.
Even though I've not been behind Ryback, he did cut one strong storytelling heel promo during his heel run, but even now, when the WWE are trying what they can, the fact he's gone through a losing streak, the fact that he's not really been booked to win against the main events at pay-per-views, and the fact that the way they've made him to heel, like we said before, was rushed. I'm just still not buying into it.
It's another example, in my opinion, of Vince McMahon knowing what he wants to do with someone, but just not getting from A to F in the correct way. He's trying to go from A to D to E to F, rather than A to B to C to D to F. Do you know what I mean? Best way I can describe Miz Mace's face turn is a disaster. The guy hasn't had any direction since the build to WrestleMania 29. Worst face turn than Randy Orton in 2004. To be honest, Miz is a bit of a directionless character right now, I must admit. It's been slightly harder to get behind than I thought it would be. The guy, it seems like WWE just turned him face so he could be a mid-card babyface and not really try and push the envelope with the character as a main eventer again, like WrestleMania 27 when he was a pretty good top heel.
I saw Miz as a possible really strong face because of the way he speaks, the way he acts, the way the crowd's behind him. At first, I thought when he was going for mid card, I thought this could be good. I had matches lined up I wanted to see, but the WWE they didn't really have a full term plan with him, which now, as you pointed out, is not one of the best booked turns.
Is Paul Heyman the best talker in WWE? I currently think so. CM Punk is second and Chris Jericho third. What are your top three as of 2013? Well, I think Punk and Heyman are definitely up there. They're always very good talkers. I think John Cena is very underrated as a talker. I mean, the guy can do what a lot of other talents can't do and be that kind of lead talker for WWE and like the example of what WWE is all about. So I'm going to put John Cena up there. A lot of people may bash his promo segments, but I think if let's say he was like not right, let's say they weren't writing him to appeal to kids, I think his promos would feel so much better to us adults. But I can't knock the guy; he is pretty good on the mic.
Mine's the jokes. I give him some credit, but when it comes to mine, I'm gonna say Slater, Vicky, Carly.
You know that was three best, not three worst.
I know. Yep.
Happy birthday to me.
Excuse me.
What about Brad Max? Baby? Beef mode for the win! Yeah, anyway, Mr. TNA 2005.
Hello.
Which are your dream wrestling matches? Heavyweights, women's, tag titles, X Division, cruiserweights, only one. Mine are so we got to pick our dream heavyweight match. That would be Austin versus Hulk Hogan for me. Women's match would be Mickie James versus Trish Stratus. Tag titles would be
TLC.
the TLC would probably, it would probably, something like that. The X Division title would probably be, for me, Chris Sabin versus Alex Shelley. That would be a great match. Two tag team guys going at it. Your kind of favorite top matches?
Well, I agree with most of yours. I'll change the world heavyweight to probably the world heavyweight. It'll be a Triple H match. So I'll say probably one of the Elimination Chambers because they were brilliant. And X Division, again, I could have gone for a class one that we've got on one of our DVDs, but again, it'll be one of the recent ones that, of course, holding Sabin.
In my opinion, AJ Lee is a good in-ring worker, even though in WWE hasn't used her like an SCW. How would you rate her? I'd say AJ Lee has a semi-unique character. In the ring, she still has a little bit of work, but that's because she's so small and she's so goddamn thin. So, you know, I think they're using her character quite well. And then, I mean, they shouldn't put all the focus on her in-ring action. They should put more of it on her character, really, in this sense.
Again, with me, that's my biggest flaw with AJ Lee. Her character, they've given her a few characters, the weird psycho, the slutty one, and all that. So she's got a character. Wrestling, she's starting to improve, like the submission move. But I still think, in my opinion, it's her wrestling that needs to be done a bit more adapting before I get behind her more than I am.
WWE has ruined Wade Barrett, in my opinion, and I think that at least 2 years, no matter how they book him, he can't be seen as a main eventer. In my eyes, at this point, it's like aces and eights until lockdown. How is it for you? I find it very hard to get behind Barrett. I think Barrett now has just got to a point where I don't ever think he's going to be a main event guy unless they just randomly give him money in the bank and have him do it that way. And it's a shame because I want to see this guy as a main eventer, but unfortunately, it just doesn't look like it's ever going to fucking happen.
I think with the WWE, if they thought, right, we need to do things differently, we need to start concentrating on stuff. If Barrett now is no longer the mid-card champion, if they thought we'll start making him frustrated or make him somehow bring the heelness out of him full length, I think building up towards Money in the Bank, sadly, is already coming up, or the Rumble, I think there's a chance he won't be fully there, but it'll be at least more believable.
Triple H equals Rude, HBK equals James Storm, Christian Cage equals Crimson, Hardy equals T Black. What other similarities do you see in wrestling? This is what I see. What other? This is an interesting one. Cody Rhodes and Rick Rude, I think, have some similarities. I think Sting and Taker have some similarities in some sense of the word, especially back in the 90s. As for other similarities, it's very hard, like Rob Terry and Ryback, I guess, could be compared or something like that. But it's really very hard to make similarities because some people compare Ziggler to Shawn Michaels as well. And it's like, you know, really?
Aries and Punk.
Aries and Punk is a similarity that people make. Other than that, I don't really know. It'd be an interesting question to pose to you guys out there. What similarities do you see in, like, Daniel Bryan and Kurt Angle? People see similarities there, possibly? Or maybe Daniel Bryan and, dare I say, his word, Lord Voldemort? I don't know. I'm just putting them out there. If you had to give the title of Sir in the future to one wrestler, who would it be? Mr. TNA thinks it's AJ Styles. I would give the term Sir.
Sir Wade Barrett.
Sir Wade Barrett would be a good one, and I'm sure he would appreciate us for that as well. Bring the Queen. Let's get her tonight, Wade Barrett. Renegade Man 83. Who are your top 5 jobbers of all time? Mean Street Posse, Brooklyn Brawler. Who else always loses? I can't remember. Mean Street Posse were fucking hilarious jobbers. I love that.
Kai and Tai, 3MB most of the time.
Spirit Squad!
Hence them versus DX, you know how bad that got.
I don't really know. I can't really think of other jobbers. Santino is now a jobber. He's pretty funny. Yoshitatsu, because he's just funny. I don't know. Top 5. Kai and Tai were pretty good jobbers. Remember them getting eliminated from the Royal Rumble 2000 like 5 times? That was quite funny. I don't know. You give us your top 5 jobbers. That's a funny question. RFV089 to NJ. That's you. From watching your videos, I can see you're a massive James Bond fan. What is your favourite Bond film and who is your favourite Bond?
Live and Let Die. I like the whole, involvement in that, and I won't give too much spoilers in case you haven't seen James Bond. And my favourite, I don't really agree with Daniel Craig. I'll go with Sean Connery.
I always loved Roger Moore as James Bond. I thought he was a real smooth criminal, that boy. He could coax anyone into bed. He could. Which famous people have you met? I have met I don't know. Who actually have I met? I can't really remember what famous people. I saw Jimmy Carr once when I was went to the Jim Ross show in like 2010,
Awesome.
and I was taller than him, which was awesome because you never think you're going to be taller than a guy on TV. You've met Mr. Carr. What's his name?
Alan Carr. I've met the Jeremy Kyle.
That's the one, Jeremy Kyle.
Yes, I met.
You're a disgrace.
One of the first original Doctor Who, so quite a few people.
Yeah, I just haven't met many famous people. Whose death, in your opinion, had a bigger impact on the wrestling business? Owen Hart, Eddie Guerrero, or the child woman killer who should be known as Lord Voldemort? Well, I think it was definitely Benoit, because after Benoit, they brought in the wellness policy, and you looking at me as if I said Lord Voldemort. Because when Lord Voldemort was killed, he who shall not be named, they brought in a wellness policy, they had the PG in it. It really did seem to change WWE going forward, with the lack of drugs and everything like that. Some say for the best, some say for the worst, but I think his definitely had the biggest impact.
My one, that is of the recent, I think when Owen Hart's thing, Vince obviously realised how much of a bad death that happened from falling down and that, so maybe things began to change following that. So I'm going to lean more towards Owen.
Rock solid EJV 420. I believe winning a world title doesn't only mean you're the best wrestler, but it also means you're an immediate box office draw. Do you guys hold this standard for world champions? Not really anymore. To be honest, now I only see the world champion as a guy that could main event some shows, while Cena will probably be the main event anyway. As for the World Heavyweight Championship, if you win the World Heavyweight Championship, you're not an immediate box office draw. I think back when the title didn't used to go so many people, it used to maybe mean more, like when Macho Man won it, or when Hogan won it, etc. Back in the early 90s. But now it doesn't really mean all that much because they're changing it a lot, and it's more to advance storylines more than anything else.
So I see the World Heavyweight. I think it gives the WWE or the W10 the fans that this is one wrestler we see as a main eventer, someone who we see as a top guy, but not as high as the WWE.
CM Punk asked us a question. He's returned now, so these questions are going to get even better. Just not about hockey, please. If John Cena died, who would be the face of the company? We had a similar question to this in our last Q&A. We really didn't know.
You really don't like Cena, do you, Punk?
No, he doesn't like Cena at all. That's why he cut that massive promo on him in 2011 in Vegas. At this point, no, we don't know. I mean, people would say Ryback. I would say Ryback. But at this point, we don't really know. If John Cena died, I think WWE would really suffer.
It would be quit, not died, but yeah.
Okay. Casper 13 Ist. Do you think the Wyatt family will eventually go after the Shield and the titles at some point? I don't think the Wyatt family. They're both heel factions. I don't think there's much point in having them feud. Not right away, anyway. At least give the Wyatt family time to sort of embed themselves into WWE before they go after the Shield. I don't think it will happen. I really don't. I can't see the Shield or the Wyatt family being a face faction. So no.
The only reason I said yes is because you're almost leveling up 3 and 3 in a way, and also the Shield eventually will need, especially if the Wyatt family come in as a tag team, the biggest tag team they can possibly go after is the Shield.
Luca Quarter. Do you think Del Rio should not deserve any world title opportunities? No, I think he does deserve world title opportunities. It's just the fact that he's been given so damn many, and it seems like he never seems to be able to run with any of them.
With Del Rio, he seems to be the guy that when they want to take the championship off someone, it will get fed to Del Rio because Sheamus is not actually involved right there, right now. I think with the fact that Del Rio's held it a few times, maybe branch him away, but I think for now, he's one of the SmackDown's top main events.
It seems like Del Rio always seems to be in the title picture, doesn't it, really? Do you think Daniel Bryan should turn heel? Not judging by the reaction he's getting by the fans, I think that he definitely should stay face, especially if the yes chants catch on even more.
And I think with this feud he's in at the minute against Orton, again, we should have the heel Orton and Daniel Bryan face before going up against a face Daniel Bryan and top face Cena.
Indeed. What do you think of a Christian versus Cena feud for the WWE Championship? Reference Orton and Christian.
One more.
Don't think so. Why did WWE find Raw so hard? Sorry, what? Yeah, why did WWE find Raw so hard? Because it's a bad show. It's probably because they got to fit 3 hours of stuff in there, and they don't really know what they're doing fully before the show actually happens. That's how I feel. And Vince is always changing the scripts and everything, and they're struggling for ratings. They're trying to do They're trying to do anything for ratings right now.
Going into Raw when it first went 3 hours, we had all our possibilities of what the WWE could start doing, but the WWE took advantage of making the main events build up through the whole night instead of advancing other storylines within the WWE. And I think Vince McMahon is just trying to make do with what he's got.
Yeah, it is a terrible show, and it's one of the reasons why I stopped watching it, because it just became unbearable to me. What has been your favourite movie of all time? Mine would probably be Forrest Gump. I really love. There's other movies, but the first one that comes to my mind is Forrest Gump.
Man on Fire.
I do like that movie as well. That's a really good movie. Warty penis. No, I don't. I'm a virgin. I can't possibly have a warty penis. What do you think of Sami Callihan? He's been testing for WWE since late April, so he could be signed. I've seen one PWG show that he was in, and I was semi-impressed by Sami Callihan. Be interested to see what they do with him on NXT. And as soon as he debuts, you'll hear my thoughts of him anyway. But he seems like an okay talent. I haven't seen too much of him to really form a proper opinion yet. You're probably the same.
But when WWE signed Drake Lee, because he's going to get his name changed once he's in the WWE.
Drake Lee sounds like the kind of name they would give him. A typical first and second name, which everyone in NXT seems to have.
So Drake Lee, I look forward to seeing what you do in the WWE.
There was rumours that he was going to be called Joey Splashwater, but apparently those were just fake. So there we go. Ambrose Freak 95. Would you ever give up on wrestling entirely? Well, you probably wouldn't. You're a massive fan of it. Me, there's more of a chance that I would. I'm not as passionate about wrestling as you are, but it all depends on where my future goes. If I end up getting married and with kids and I can't really watch wrestling anymore, then I guess I'd have to.
Get your kids into wrestling.
I would definitely get my kids into wrestling. I would say that, but do you know what I mean, NJ? You know what I mean?
The thing is, wrestling has changed. We've seen the amount of people tuning out, not watching it, not reviewing it, and all that over the years. So there's a fact that could continue to happen, but with me, the fact it's been something from childhood, growing up, they're still trying to give me entertainment, which they do on some occasions, and the fact that wrestling is the stuff that gives me the entertainment, it's going to be hard for me to say, you're rubbish, go away.
Yes, WWE bring back a more PG orientation of Crash TV. That was done in the Attitude Era, like Crash TV, where anything can happen, or blah 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 at any time. Not necessarily hardcore, just storylines. I mean, yeah, but it gets TNA did this for a long time, and it just got to a point where something just didn't seem like a surprise anymore because they were doing so much Crash TV. So you need to do it in moderation if you're going to do that.
Crash TV pay-per-view.
Oh god, that would be an hour. Why is wrestling no longer as popular as it used to be? Simply because it's no longer as popular as it used to be. It's mainly due to perception. We're now adults. Well, we're in our early to mid 20s, NJ. Don't let the hair fool you guys. And it's just down to the way it's seen in social networks. You know what I mean? Like now, obviously, you've got reality TV and reality news and breaking news and everything like that. And it's just wrestling just doesn't seem to be as popular as it used to be. Because I don't think people can really buy into it anymore. You've got the internet, and why would you watch this fake wrestling show essentially when you can be watching reality?
That's the big thing, because we have many people who complain, especially when Mr. Parkin made this video, when people talk about wrestling, they always get said, "Oh, it's fake. Why do you watch it?" Compared to a real sport like football and stuff, you're watching something that's scripted and fake.
Fake and gay is the technical term, apparently.
Exactly, yes. It's just wrong that the people are realizing it's scripted and not real compared to other sports, and that's why they just say, "That's it, finished."
And the last question of this Q&A, as much as I don't want to end this Q&A because it's got so much momentum right now, why is Triple H stereotyped as burying wrestlers? Well, you look at Triple H, and it doesn't ever seem like he's ever really gone the whole distance to put over a guy like he did for John Cena, he did for Batista. But did he really go the whole way to put over Goldberg, a WCW guy? Did he really go the whole way to try and put over Scott Steiner? Did he really go the whole way to try and put over Booker T? Talents like that. Did he really go the whole way to try and put over Sheamus? Not really. So that's why Triple H is seen as kind of burying wrestlers. I mean, so you look at recently what he did to Curtis Axel. a young guy coming onto the roster for the first time
We could blame Vince
as
for
his
that as
character. You could blame Vince for that as well.
Yeah.
But he slaps him in the face, and then as if he's nothing, and so that's why he's known for burying wrestlers.
Even though he does have the thing that Triple H always wants to be the guy before he eventually retires or whatever route he goes down, the fact that these wrestlers have still been involved in storylines with Triple H, especially in Attitude Era to now, it's still negative, but at least you've been infused with the game.
Yeah, indeed, and how much it did for you really depends. But I think, to be honest with you, it's the fact that I think Triple H had a very hard induction to WWE and found it very hard to work his way to the top, even though you knew he was very, very good at what he'd done. And that's probably why he's like what he is now. And in fact, that's what very astute interviewees have said about Triple H going forward. They said it's not his fault. I think it's more of the business's fault that what's done to Triple H. But there we go. That's been another Q&A with us, the British Fist. Tune in next week for another Q&A where we'll be answering more of your questions, which you can ask us using those links in the description box below. And for this video, we're going to leave NJ to do the outro because I'm shit at him.
Well, I wouldn't say that, Mr. Parkin. Come on now. And people, the thing with the Q&As, we enjoy answering your questions. But if there's anything we could do to spark your interest, making you want more, beg for more, please let us know in the comments below and we'll provide that from you. Until next time, YouTubers, thank you very much for watching this Q&A. Please look forward to our future videos because the best is yet to come.